From the floor in Madison Square Garden, we are moments away from the latest rankings from the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. We know we're going to have a little bit of a shakeup at the top after Oklahoma knocked off Alabama. So how will this bracket look? We'll show you what it would look like based on the rankings that will be coming up exclusively in a matter of moments. As a reminder, this is how the playoff works. 12 teams in. The 5 highest ranked conference champions. It does not matter which conference you come from. 5 highest ranked, then the next 7 highest ranked teams. As Greg alluded to, top 4 get byes, and then 5 through 8 will get to play at home. So the selection committee had a little bit of a change. Hunter Yurachek is now the chair. Mac Rhodes stepping down. They also added Mark Harlan from Utah, the AD. So they have 12 members voting, and now we get to see them when you do. College Football Playoff Top 25 presented by Verbo. This is 25 through 21. So Tulane, out of the American, is number 24. We presume they're going to be the highest ranked team out of the group of 5. They still have to win the American Championship in order to get in. Illinois back in the field along with Missouri. Let's look at the next group of 5. Number 20. The Tennessee Volunteers. Now, Virginia's 9-2. Virginia has a great opportunity to play in the ACC championship game against Georgia Tech. ACC trying to hold one of those spots.
Yeah, Virginia had a big win this weekend against Duke on the road. Duke now knocked out of it. The ACC is still wide open. There's still no clean-cut path for anyone to get in, but it looks like right now Virginia, Georgia Tech are the best chances to play.
It also tells us right here, we had kind of wondered, can Texas still get in as a 3-loss team given the strength of schedule and who they lost to? With a 7-spot drop, it's not looking like they're going to have enough firepower to possibly get into the top 12 as an at-large, even though that last game against Texas A&M, a win against them, top 3 opponents still probably won't be enough to get them in the field.
And remember, Greg, as far as getting to the field at the at-large, you probably have to get to number 10. Texas' problem is not number of losses, it's how they've played. And they're sitting there at number 17. Let's go to number 15. At number 15, up a couple of spots, USC. They're at Oregon. The Trojans have a chance to really put some pressure on the committee and try to get in the field.
And we've talked about, does Oregon have any room to slip up? This could be the week that they do. It'll be interesting if USC can go on the road and beat Oregon. We expect USC to move up.
At number 14, the Vanderbilt Commodores. Vanderbilt might be one of those teams that's experiencing a ceiling right now. They lost on the road at Alabama, on the road at Texas. See if they can have some chaos in front of them. How about number 13? There is Miami. 2 spots up and inching closer to maybe this head-to-head carrying the day with the win early against Notre Dame.
Yeah, one more hurdle out of the way with Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt didn't play last week, but Miami goes and absolutely destroys NC State. If they can continue it, 2 straight road wins in the next couple weeks to dominate like that, the eye test is going to look pretty good for the Canes after that midseason swoon.
Now, I want you to notice something. Miami is the highest-ranked ACC team, but have 2 conference losses, and it is a long shot for them to get into the conference title game and win an automatic bid as the highest-ranked conference champion. They almost certainly have to get into the field as an at-large, but we'll see how it all goes. Utah, another ceiling-type team, it feels like, but inching up a spot, hoping that maybe things will fall their way at number 11. BYU, who won by a field goal against Utah, the Cougars' only loss on the road at Texas Tech, and sitting there at 11. Now, when you think about an ACC team needing to get into the field, group of 5, cut line is between 10 and 11. So let's look at the top 10 of the latest rankings, college football playoff. At number 10, Alabama, after the home loss to Oklahoma, falls all the way to the cut line at number 10.
And you kind of expected Alabama to be in this spot because Oklahoma will be above them since they got that head-to-head win. Alabama still has 1 loss in the SEC, so they're sitting in a position they could still possibly get into the SEC championship game. It was a tough loss against Oklahoma at home. The committee sees them at number 10, so it gets interesting now. Could they be the 5th SEC team to get into the playoff?
It'd be really interesting if they get into the SEC championship game. For some of these teams, there's still opportunity for movement. How about number 9? Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Now, Notre Dame has head-to-head over USC, who's just lurking. They've got head-to-head over Miami. How this all plays out among those teams, Greg, is really fascinating.
And this might be the ceiling for the Irish, too. I mean, you referenced that a moment ago with Utah. With 2 games remaining on their schedule against 2 teams that are a combined 6-14, they're not going to be able to strengthen. They're kind of at the mercy of what happens in front of them. So if teams in front of them lose, a la Oregon to SC, that's how Notre Dame can host. But right now, it's looking like they're going on the road week 1 to the playoff.
Number 8. Oklahoma moving all the way up to number 8 after winning in Tuscaloosa. So the Sooners in really good shape. Again, not likely to play in the SEC championship game. And Oklahoma, though, is really good spot if they can take care of their business in the last 2 regular seasons.
And I think the committee is kind of rewarding Oklahoma for those 2 losses, knowing their quarterback was not at 100%. So I feel like they're kind of boosting them a bit, maybe not evaluating them as strongly with what they did in October with a hurt Batir.
Number 7. There's the Oregon Ducks. They slide up 1 spot. Big game with SC this weekend.
Yeah, and that's not very surprising, but the game is at home against USC. It's a big game for Oregon. If they lose that game, Rece, I don't know that Oregon, with their resume, no big wins on it, can stay inside of the committee's top teams for the playoff.
Joe Evans. Hotty toddy. Ole Miss might be in as good a shape as anybody. They'd love to win the SEC. They'd love to go to the championship game. They play Mississippi State.
Yeah, stay out of the SEC championship game. Stay right there. Why play the extra game?
You know, if not for the whole coaching thing with Ole Miss, it would just be boring for the Rebels right now. Probably have a home game locked up. Everything's looking good. Number 5, Texas Tech up a spot and 1 spot away from getting a bye. Although I bet in Lubbock, they would just prefer to stay right there and have that first home playoff game. At least the fans would anyway.
Yeah, that 5 spot very coveted given how up and down the G5's been all year.
Well, remember, they're in the Big 12 right there. You see what they do it. The G5, as Greg alluded to, will be a 5-12 and almost certainly either against the ACC or a group of 5 champion. At number 4, this is going to be Georgia. Georgia seems like it's playing its best ball. They really put a spanking on Texas.
They really did. And for 2 weeks in a row now, they've played 4 quarters. There was a concern about the way they started games. 2 weeks in a row, really good early.
Okay, let's go 3-2-1. We know how this is going to look. At number 3, Texas A&M was down by 1 million at halftime. They came back and beat South Carolina. Indiana's rolling, only 1 more game in the old Oaken bucket, and the Buckeyes once again sitting on top at number 1. So based on these rankings, it's not a projection, just based on the rankings, this is how everything would look. You see Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia getting the byes. Tulane would be the last team in the field. And remember, the Miami is there based on the current rankings, but that would be the spot for the ACC champion. Can't emphasize that enough, that Miami almost certainly has to get into the field as an at-large. So what's your reaction to this?
Well, as we talked at the beginning of the season, and you start to divvy up these seeds and who's going to get picks into this college football playoff, it now looks like, judging by this, the SEC is set to get 5, which means somebody isn't getting 1. ACC is not looking real strong in this. And then Rece, Miami sitting at the 11th seed. That's really just a placeholder for now. You know what I mean? Like,
but an opportunity to move up for them if they fit.
For sure. And the big thing for me is, my goodness, man, a close loss, -3 turnovers at home. You lose by 2, you miss a field goal, and you drop 6 spots. So the precedent now, with what they just did to Alabama, if you're Oregon, if you're a team that messes around, if you're Ole Miss, you better win out. I mean, you don't want to take any chances because a 6 slots slide from the 6th spot or the 7th spot would have you out of the field, and the committee just did it to Bama, so they'll do it to you.
You know, it's really interesting too. They make you stack them up in order. My guess is that you go 6 through 10, and it's really close. That's my guess anyway.
You want this, you got that.